everyone. I'm Matt Williamson. And the final buzzer just ended in Cincinnati Thursday night. And your Steelers obviously fell to the Bengals 33-31. If you didn't care about the game and you're just watching from Chicago or Washington or Seattle, you probably thought this was a really entertaining game. I mean, back and forth, pretty good quarterback play, a lot of big plays, a lot of action. But if you're in our shoes, you have to look at this and say, oh man, what a bad defensive performance. Now, that's probably 51% of it. I would say 49% of it is offense was great. Now, the Bengals defense is terrible and didn't have Hendrickson. Obviously, Joe Burrow didn't play in this game as well. But I was super impressed with the run game. I was mostly super impressed with Rodgers. I think the O-line's coming together. Like the big package on offense is coming together. But the defense was way worse than you could have thought. And I'm going to get into the stats. I don't have like I said, the game just ended. I don't have any of my advanced stats, Matt stats. I'll hit you guys hard with that stuff tomorrow. Give me 24 hours to digest. And you can have all weekend to check it out. But on the pregame show and several times on different outlets, mostly on Steelers.com, my big worries for this game were, first off, short week on the road, add division into it. Most teams aren't successful that way, especially the Steelers, especially Tomlin-led Steelers. And the defense looked shot basically from the start. I mean, energy, bad. Tackling, et cetera, bad. Also, the thing that worried me, which was along those lines, is kind of an intangible, was you count a team out that is proud and professional and has won a lot of games and everyone in America is watching in their building is a dangerous situation. They just see how this league works, that teams don't roll over and die, especially in these situations. But more than anything, what worried me about this game was if Chase and Higgins lit you on fire and Flacco played well, which we know he's capable of, but I didn't see a lot of it coming, to be honest with you. He did heat up quite a bit as the Green Bay game went on last week after being miserable with the Browns and miserable in the first half. And it's just those receivers. I mean, no answer. And I said several times throughout the week, if the Steelers lose this game, I bet the receivers blow you apart. And I didn't think it'd even get to that level. So that's what happened. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Let's buzz through these final stats. I think some of them are very telling. Rodgers ends up going 23 for 34, 249, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. One I thought was a really bad play by him. The other one I thought was an exceptional play by the young corner, Turner, who's turned into a very good player. And I may have sold him short, but I did mention that he's a very good young corner. What a play he made on that interception / takeaway. But I thought Rodgers played a very good game and was in control, and I have no reservations about that. I did not see this coming from Flacco, though. 31 for 47 for 342, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And you could argue those 2 interceptions versus Flacco's 0 interceptions was maybe the difference in the game. In a back and forth game where defenses didn't stop anybody. And Joe was really good, but his receivers were really open. Yeah, really open. As worrisome, though, a team that couldn't run the ball at all. Chase Brown goes 11 for 108. He also caught 2 passes for -8 yards, but big holes. Big gash runs from a team that was not producing any big plays on the ground. Warren, I thought, was phenomenal, and he's clearly the best back on the team. I don't think that's ever been disputed. But he was 16 for 127, throwing 4 catches for 31. But Chase, man, they targeted him 23 times. Felt like they could have thrown the ball every play. Catches 16 of them. I think there was one drop in there for 161 yards and a touchdown, and it felt like more. It felt like he could do anything he wanted. But Higgins, of course, gets overshadowed, but I thought he was really good in this game, too. 10 targets for him. He catches 6 of them for 96 yards and a touchdown in very impressive fashion, too. Freiermuth is a Bengal killer. I mean, so many of his big games in his career, if not all, it seems like, have come against the Bengals. This game, 5 for 111, 2 touchdowns. We'll talk about it next week. I mean, is it time to get more of him? I don't know. I don't know how to work out this tight end puzzle 100%. Steelers did have 2 sacks. Bengals had none. Boy, their pass rush is bad, though, without Hendrickson. I mean, there were a lot of snaps where Rodgers is just sitting there for 3, 4, 5 seconds, it felt like. Bengals had 27 first downs. The Steelers had 19. Both teams were good on third. The Steelers in particular, third downs, they were 7 of 10. The Bengals were 50%, 7 of 14, and they converted their only 4th down attempt. But once again, they run 72 plays compared to 54 for the Steelers. It's too many. The yardage totals are both high, but they're comparable at least, 470 to 376, favoring the Bengals. But yards per play, Steelers were at 7.3. They allowed 6.5, but still, you might be shocked that they were noticeably higher in yards per play. Rushing yards were about the same, 147 to 142. Yards per rush, Steelers are up to 7.4. 7.4, big holes, big personnel, Warren. Bengals were at 6.2, way too high to allow, of course, but that's the whole theme of this thing. Offenses were both good, defenses were both bad. The difference is the Steelers supposedly, and they do, have really good defensive players. They certainly have expensive ones, where the Bengals don't. Where am I at here? Penalties, 7 for 59 for the Steelers, 4 for 35. Second game in a row that you didn't win that area. Turnovers, as mentioned, were 2-0. Only the interceptions. But time of possession, again, is a massive problem for the Steelers. The Bengals held the ball for 34 and a half minutes out of 60. Steelers were 25 and a half. It's not going to cut it. You're going to wear down. Game after game, it's going to take a toll. Short week on the road. Those things take a toll, even though there's depth on this defense.
Football season's finally here. Time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Think the Steelers are headed to the Super Bowl? Lock in your bets today. Whatever your game, FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials, so you can join in on all the action.
Again, just some pretty obvious notes here. I don't think I'm going to enlighten you a great deal after this game. This one seems awfully cut and dry. Yeah, Flacco is really good, and you have to give him a ton of credit considering how little he's been there. No doubt. Professional quarterback. Took advantage of his surroundings. Let's put it that way. Poor defense, great pass catchers, an elite pass catcher, and as a veteran quarterback, took full advantage of that. I don't know that he did something special other than play really well on very little practice time. But give him credit. I mean, they don't win this game with Browning, obviously. Chase was ridiculous. I mean, it was honestly as good a wide receiver game as I can remember. Steelers didn't help, but I'm not sure it would have mattered against anybody. He's that good. I mean, he's one of the best football players walking planet Earth, and boy, did it show up. But a horrible running team runs all over the Steelers again. Way more than they should have. Like, that bothers me more than Chase being Superman. Like, how does Brown get free hardly at all in this game? Part of it was really bad tackling. I thought I'm not going to blame the short week on the road, but let's not pretend it doesn't matter, because very little energy, very little juice on defense after 2 games in a row where they were just flying around. I saw none of that tonight. Front seven did not get off blocks at all against a bad O-line. Didn't see a ton of guys get into the ball carrier. Didn't see a lot of team speed. Watt was mostly invisible. Yes, he got a late sack, and that's big, but I think when we look at snap counts, they're going to be a little lower. I saw more Sawyer than I thought. It was Watt 100%. I have my doubts. Ramsey was pretty awful. Made a play here and there, but all the corners were no match for Chase or Higgins, but especially Chase. Ramsey seemed like the biggest culprit. More penalties from Porter. Hated seeing that. Slay seemed slow and ineffective. And again, I've said this probably 5 times already. There was just zero answer for Chase, who is tremendous. And none of these corners did anything against him. It wasn't like it was just Ramsey. But very few hits on the quarterback. I'm excited to see those official numbers. 1, 2, 3. Outside the 2 sacks, I bet it was 1 or 2. Old man quarterback who doesn't run well, but did make a couple plays with his legs. I give them credit on that bootleg that he kept, knowing the plan, saw it coming. Good play call, fine. And he did move a little better in his day than given credit for, but still, I can't believe that they got so few hits on the quarterback. No big plays on defense. Didn't see that coming. It seemed like on first blush, watching TV copy was way too much soft coverage. Now, they did play a lot of man from what I saw. They did play some press, but there was also a lot of easy pitch and catch. It felt like they threw like 4 out routes in a row to Chase against Ramsey at the end of half. Boom, 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 boom. But again, I'm not sure. It almost came out wrong. I was about to say, I'm not sure it mattered what they did. Of course it mattered what they did. But everything they did didn't work. You can't just blame, boy, they were too soft in coverage, or boy, they got out schemed. I mean, yeah, they did. And yeah, they did. But anything you tried against this guy, he was destroying. Rodgers, minus the pick, I thought was really, really good in this game again. I mean, I think he's making a lot of throws. He's in total command. Throws the football well, gets them in good plays. It's shocking to me that the offense is that much better than the defense on a given day like this, and he had a lot to do with it. As did Jaylen Warren. He's a big-time player. He really is. I mean, he does everything well. I really like the big package. It's here to stay. It's hard to play against. Anderson is what I'm talking about, but obviously teamed with Washington, who still is the tight end one. But the Anderson 6 offensive line approach is a real pain in the butt for defenses. They open up a lot of big holes, and not only when Anderson was out there, but a lot of big holes in the run game. And again, this is a bad defense, but that's what you should do. I mentioned that Muth kills the Bengals. I found it interesting that every touchdown by the Steelers were a reception by a tight end. Metcalf streak ends. Maybe that's promising. We can look at this and say, well, the tight end production spiked at least. All right. Okay, that's something to talk about all week. Okay, I'm cool with that. I had a real problem, and it didn't end up killing them. But when Tomlin punts at midfield, down 6 with 5:25 on the clock, and he pinned them pretty deep, like on the 10, and they got the ball back quickly after. Moose scores. We know what happened. Doesn't make that the right decision. I mean, your defense hadn't stopped anybody, hadn't stopped a thing forever. And on 3rd down, why not run the ball twice? Run the ball 3rd, run the ball 4th, instead of they throw it, punt. I think you got to think more ahead of this stuff. I mean, all these super analytic dorks, which I don't 100% agree with, just kill Tomlin for these 4th down decisions. And this one I wholeheartedly back. It was the wrong call. Last thing, just kind of wrap this thing up, and I'll come at you real heavy with my nerdy stuff tomorrow. No major injuries per Tomlin at the press conference. Good. Did see a couple, like he says, nicks and bumps and bruises associated with play, blah, blah, blah. You do have a long week, and Tomlin as a coach is way better on long weeks than short weeks. And the Packers are a stiff test. But this loss, just mathematically, really keeps the door open for the Bengals. Maybe they catch a little fire with Flacco. I didn't think that was possible, but maybe. And certainly the Ravens. I mean, they're sitting back on their couch right now, real happy that the Steelers lost this game. You left the door open a little bit more than it should for the rest of the division. That might come back to haunt you. You might look back at Thursday night in Cincinnati and say, that's when the season took a little bit of a turn for the worse. It's possible. All right, everyone. Not the result you wanted, but there was a lot of good. There was a lot of good on offense here. Again, bad defense. A lot of bad on defense. But Chase is a stud. I mean, these are just facts. All right, everyone. Over and out.